Lea Salonga on Disney roles, crying at Kpop demon hunters and discrimination she's faced. Ahead of her Hong Kong Disneyland show, the Filipino singer talks about why Mulan is still so dear to her and her wish to tell Asian stories. Crying like a baby is not the kind of reaction in-flight entertainment usually evokes, but when Lea Salonga was watching Kpop Demon Hunters, in which she has a minor singing role, on a recent trip, that was what happened. I wept, recalls the 54-year-old Filipino singer and actress, famed for being the singing voice behind two beloved Disney characters, Jasmine in Aladdin, 1992, and the eponymous Heroine in the 1998 movie Mulan. I watched it on a flight, and I was like, why is this movie making me cry so much? Another work that made her cry buckets was Maybe Happy Ending. It's quite the successful South Korean musical, and then it made its way to Broadway, and it won all of the things. It's such a gem. If there's anything that those productions have proven, it's that there is a demand for this kind of Asian storytelling. There is a demand to learn about another culture. Salonga will return to Hong Kong for a special one-night-only concert on January 10, 2026, at Hong Kong Disneyland for the park's anniversary celebrations, 2 decades after she performed for the park's grand opening. She will sing some of her all-time classics, such as Reflection from Mulan, whose lead character is still dear to her heart. By voicing 2 landmark Disney heroines, she catalyzed a new era of diversity and inclusivity for Asian performers in animation. Mulan is Asian in the way I am Asian, and it changes the image that says a lot of folks have about people like us. You just never really know what kind of joy it'll bring to another human being. It makes me so happy knowing that there's going to be this 5-year-old listening to that music. The Kpop Demon Hunters soundtrack has earned 5 Grammy nominations for 2026, while Maybe Happy Ending won 6 Tony Awards in 2025. It is this global recognition for Asian-led productions that Salonga says fills her with so much hope. The project that Salonga is most anticipating is her work on the forthcoming DreamWorks animation film, Forgotten Island. It will be the studio's first production to center on Filipino culture, featuring the story of 2 best friends in the magical world. She has already begun recording for the film, which is scheduled for release in autumn 2026. No further information has been officially released, and while Salonga remains tight-lipped about her role, she shares that she fell in love with the character immediately. The production comes 37 years after Salonga first shattered Broadway's bamboo ceiling with her performance as Kim in Miss Saigon, during a time that held limited opportunities for Asian performers. Decades on, she has seen a tangible increase in Asian representation on stage and screen, marking a shift from the early days of her career. Back then, even as the first Asian actress to receive a Tony Award and the first Filipino to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, she faced discrimination in the industry because of her racial background. I've been refused an audition just because of who I am and where I'm from, and that had never happened to me before. And this was already after I had a Tony in my hand, she says. When you walk into an audition room as a person of color, you've got to be twice as good as everybody else in the room, and you're not entitled to anything. Be ready to be rejected a million times. She has given the same advice to her son Nick, who is also pursuing a career in acting and singing. I give him the real score, she says. It's like, just because you're my kid, do not expect anything to happen. Off stage, Salonga has been a vocal advocate for authentic representation. She has publicly criticized Hollywood for whitewashing and used her platform during the COVID-19 pandemic to speak out against anti-Asian racism and gendered violence. She has lent her voice to 2 key initiatives: a 2020 NBC Asian American Town Hall condemning xenophobia, and a 2021 forum, #API Women Strong, where she joined us politician Hillary Clinton and others to dissect how xenophobic violence disproportionately affects Asian American and Pacific Islander women. She notes a significant surge in visibility for Asian performers on Broadway right now, where productions like Here Lies Love which Salonga starred in, can feature an entirely Asian cast, and where Filipino actors hold principal roles. I'd like to think that, thanks to these shows, and also Hamilton or Les Miserables, which have cast Asians as leads, it's not that big of a deal now that Asian actors are in this space, as long as race is not that uncredited character. If that can happen for one show, it can happen for another show. So I'm hopeful that we'll get to see more storytelling from that part of the world. That is what I'm looking for. Original Asian stories.